Hey everyone, it's Daniel here from Infovest. Hope you're all doing well. I want to talk about a topic that I mentioned a couple of times on my videos in the past, but I haven't made a full video on this, an individual dedicated video on this. Maybe I have, but I don't remember me really nailing it and discussing this here. But I want to talk about the unemployment rate. Very important. The US Federal Reserve, okay, that runs the whole monetary system, runs, hikes, decides to hike, makes the decision when it comes to interest rates, makes the decision when it comes to printing of money and all of that. And we've been seeing that, they've been raising rates and taking money out of the system, basically contracting credit, etc., so on and so on. But I want to talk about something in their economic projections. They release economic projections 4 times in a year. The recent one that we got basically says that the unemployment rate for this year is expected to be 4.1%. The current unemployment rate is sitting at 3.6%. Now, Elizabeth Warren mentioned this and hounded Jerome Powell on this as well. But again, not much news media is surrounding this topic or talking about this topic that much. But hey, I will talk about it and I'll let you know that whenever the unemployment rate spikes up to 0.5% ever since 1949, when you look at all the past recessions, every time you get a 0.5% increase in the unemployment rate, it always leads to a recession. And not just any kind of recession, generally tends to be a tough one, the hard landing, right? Now, everyone was expecting the recession to come this year, especially Q1 of this year. And how amazing that it didn't come, right? We had the stock market completely reversed. I mean, look at the stock market. NASDAQ is 9% away from all-time highs. Dow Jones is 6% from all-time highs. Is that telling you something? Does it mean that, everybody's wrong when it comes to a recession? By the way, I'm on the recession camp, so I can definitely be wrong too. But recessions take time. The economic cycle takes time. And the Federal Reserve, not me, the Federal Reserve, much more smarter and better, maybe if you agree with that. Some people don't. But definitely, if you listen to them and just see, forget about listening to them because they sound completely opposite of what they're saying in the projections. The projections are saying 4.1% by the end of this year. That means Q4 of this year, they're expecting the unemployment rate to jump by 0.5%. And every time that happens, like I just said, you get the recession, you get the hard landing. So the Fed is basically telling you that they expect a recession by Q4. And by next year, you're going to get the unemployment rate again jumping up by 0.5% to around 4.5 to 4.6%. And every time that happens, and Elizabeth Warren said, every time this happens, it doesn't stop there. It goes way further high up. That means a lot of job losses. That means the economic conditions are getting worse off. Growth is contracting. I mean, you already see it in the ISM data, right? The leading indicators. The leading indicators out there are saying recession, recession, recession. Now, in theory, yeah, the government has changed the definition of recession. But in theory, when you take the past definition of a recession, it's 2 consecutive GDP numbers that are in negative. And for that number to come out, it may take time. It may be Q4, Q1, maybe later this year. But the fact that the leading indicators, the Federal Reserve is telling you, and much more things out there are all pointing towards a recession, just makes you think, and especially when you look at past data and history, that a 0.5% increase, a jump in just the unemployment rate by 0.5% means that it doesn't end there. You get higher unemployment rate levels, you get that recession, you get that hard landing. So will we see a recession start in Q4 of this year? Will we see it next year, right? Or is everyone going to be wrong just like they were at the beginning of this year or throughout this half of this year? There's no recession. My take is, if I were to make a bet, I'd say recession's coming. Probably we're going to see real signs of it next year. I wouldn't be surprised if the true signs show up in September of next year. And that happens to be around the election time as well. Could it be coincidence? Could it be not? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If it comes in earlier, sure, definitely that can happen. But I say give it a year or so. We might see the true effects of the inflation, the recession, and we'll see how that plays out for the equity markets and the economy as a whole. I mean, history may not repeat itself, but it often rhymes, and the data and the history is there to basically show you that. My bet is on that history and that data, and that's why I think that, hey, this recession can definitely come in. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the like button, bell icon to be notified on the next video, and I'll see you guys around. Cheers, bye.